What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the patio. I know it was a little cool out tonight, but I still wanted to get on the patio tonight. Y'all can see I got the little fire pit going to give us a little ambiance. I didn't even think, dang it, I should have turned on the lights because once the sun goes down, I didn't even think about turning them on. Hey, Google, turn on string lights. Okay. Not you, honey. I keep forgetting.
It could on.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I keep forgetting when I got my phone open and I say, hey, Google, the phone thinks I'm talking to it. So it responds instead of my Google over there on the counter. So that's why I be like, I'm not talking to you. But I saw, yes, you touched me. But anyway, yes. So, hey, Rick, I hate you weren't able to make it. But how's the graduation going? Are you at graduation on your phone?
Rick, you missing out.
Right.
I can't believe you're not here.
Exactly. You're about to miss out on the Cameo Bobo Experience.
I was looking forward to meeting you.
And Pretty Ricky is.
I see all of the, attention that he gets.
Oh, the ladies love Pretty. And here's
I wanted to
thing.
Experience it.
He didn't believe me when I kept saying, the ladies love them some Pretty Ricky. He was like, no, they don't. Whatever. I was like, okay. I don't know what you think. The ladies love them some Pretty Ricky shoes. So so you have to come back again.
I have to come back again.
So you can meet Pretty Ricky because I'm pretty sure you're gonna enjoy yourself tonight and you're gonna want to come back.
Definitely.
And feel the ambiance on the patio.
Yes, I love it already.
Yeah, it's not too bad right now because I was like, it's supposed
perfect.
To drop. Yeah,
no, it's perfect.
It feels real good out here with the fire pit going, and so we're gonna relax. And I keep saying it because I love that. That's on your website, the Cameo Bobo Experience. Like,
thank you.
Let me set the tone for what is about to happen. You are about to have an experience.
Okay.
Love it. Okay. I love it, love it, love it. I was like, okay, I see. And I started reading off. I said, okay, this thing.
Thank you, girl. Thank you.
Yes, you are doing it. So, y'all, and I know I've said her name so many times, but I'm going to let you introduce yourself. And then, tell me a little bit about you. I really want to know how you got started.
Okay.
That's what I really want.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Cameo Bobo. I'm originally from Jackson, Tennessee. I came to Middle Tennessee to go to school at MTSU. And so after I graduated pregnant with my son 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after graduation. I had my son, and so I just stayed up this way because his family is from this area, and I knew I would have help with him. So that's how I got to this area. Yes, my real name is Cameo Bobo.
I saw that in your bio.
That's my real name. That's my real name.
I was gonna ask that until I saw it in your bio.
I know some people are like, that's not your name. I'm like, yes, that's my real name.
Were you named after the group?
So a little bit of named after the group. And are you familiar with that cameo brooch? There's a brooch with a woman's image. So that's supposed to stand for the perfect woman.
Oh,
My father said when he had me, he had the perfect daughter.
Oh,
so he named me Cameo.
I
know, isn't that sweet? He's a sweetie pie daddy.
Oh.
So that's the story that I tell. He also like Cameo too. But that's the story that I tell. Okay. So
your story is sweeter. I like that one better. Tell Daddy stop saying you named after the
I know. I'm like, yeah, you can't tell that part no more. This is another story.
Yes, so your story is cute. I like that one better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So at an early age, I had a love for fashion. My grandmother would take me shopping, let me buy whatever I wanted, and that kind of birthed in me a love for fashion. So I came up here to go to MTSU and majored in fashion merchandising.
Okay.
Once I graduated from school, as I mentioned, I had my my only child. Right now, maybe I have another child one day.
Well, you never know. You're still young.
Yeah, sort of, kind of, but okay. But yeah, so I was a single mom with a child right out of college, and so I wasn't able to move to New York and pursue my dreams of fashion like I thought I would have. Mm-hmm. So long story short, I started designing clothes. I had an original clothing line called Cameo Styles.
Okay.
And so back then I was doing fashion shows all around Nashville, did my own fashion show, and just grew from there. And that's kind of how I got into doing events and doing fashion.
Oh.
And from there, I started working with Bobby Jones.
I had a cousin that worked with Bobby Jones.
Started working with Bobby Jones, and I was his a host for 2 of his nationally syndicated television shows, and also did fashion shows for some of his television shows. Okay. And so that's what happened. And from there, I started realizing that I had a love for other areas. So I got into music, and I launched my career as a rapper in 2015, and I released 4 or 5 songs at this point. And so my current song is 2022 is your year. You ain't never gonna stop because God got you popping. Okay,
you ain't never gonna stop because God got you popping. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? So just a word of encouragement to let everybody know that life is gonna hit you. You know, things are going to happen, but just know that you can always rebound, and that every year can be your year. Every year can be a year. You just have to speak it. You know, a lot of times we get in those dark spaces and we stop speaking and expecting good to happen, and when it doesn't happen, we wonder why. We're not expecting it and thinking about it anymore.
Because we're breathing that negativity.
Yes. And we're letting it take over our lives. So,
yes, absolutely.
So I got into music, and from music, I started doing speaking events and speaking to young girls because I have a program called We Are Farm. And so We Are Farm encourages young girls to know that they're fearfully and wonderfully made, beautiful, unique princesses. So that's what Farm stands for. Yeah. So it's for preteen girls because growing up, I was the only daughter. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a big sister. And so the things that I really wanted to ask my mom, I was too scared to ask her. And so I asked my friends. And so they gave me bad information, and they caused me to go down. You know,
I know how that goes.
Yeah, everybody knows that story. So I want to serve girls as someone that they can, a confidant, someone that they can come to for good wisdom and godly wisdom and stuff like that. So that's that. And then lastly, you know, I was single during this whole time, and I got into different relationships. And so one season of my life, I was with someone that I thought I was going to marry. Ended up in heartbreak. Okay. Then a few months later, I met another guy that came highly recommended. Everybody was like, yes, he's a great guy, girl. That's going to be good for you. It's going to work out. He ended up being horrible. It was the worst thing I've ever been through. Like literally really bad. And so after that, I decided, you know what? I'm going to put Cameo Bobo first. All this love and attention that I was giving to everybody else, you know what? I'm going to give myself 100%.
Do you feel like you were trying to get in a relationship because you felt like people were telling you you're supposed to be in a relationship, or that you wanted a relationship?
Well, this is one thing. I feel like God told me at one point that my husband was going to open up a new level of my destiny.
Okay.
And when he told me that, I didn't ask what was the timing concerning that. I was like, okay, well, I need to get married. But it's a new level.
You just started.
So I started being open to the potential of working things out with people. And when you do that, you compromise.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And when you think you need to be in a certain position, you start to put yourself in a position. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean that it's right.
It's the right position to be in. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I see now that's what I was doing, you know. And had I not had that focus in my head of, okay, let's go and get this going where I can do the work. and just let things flow, I would have seen clearer who those people were before I was madly in love and couldn't, all this other part.
Right.
But so basically I got over those situations and I realized that, I had a gift for setting goals. All my life, I've been really good at setting goals and achieving goals, but I realized I hadn't been consistent the whole time. So, during that journey of putting myself first, I decided, you know what? I've never been out of town for New Year's Eve. Let's go out of town. So myself and two of my best friends, we went to Miami for New Year's Eve.
Oh, y'all was kicking it, okay.
We rented a drop top bed. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We stayed in a nice beachfront.
Top down.
Look, we was having a good time. Okay, cute and all that. And so the morning of the day after New Year's Eve, one of my best friends woke up and she was like, "Want to go down to the pool with me?" And I said, "If you'll go downstairs and work on your goals with me," because every first day of the year I work on my goals. And so she went down. She agreed. Oh, girl, we're gonna talk about that because yes, you are. Look at this. This was a goal. You manifested it. You took steps towards it.
I can't really say it was a goal. It was a vision that I wanted to bring because I'm more of a creative type.
It's the same thing.
I get it, but to me, it's all in the phrasing. I guess. But this was a vision that I felt I needed to bring to fruition.
And that's good that you touch on that because a lot of people set goals, but the reason why they don't see them come to pass is because they don't ever visualize it.
Yeah,
they don't.
I have to visualize.
You have to see it.
If I don't see it, like
that's it. You have to see it. But we went down and we worked on our goals, and she reminded me that this is something that I did every year. When we got back to Nashville, she asked me to do a goal setting workshop for her board. Okay. From there, I started doing goal setting workshops around town. Eventually, I wrote a book, and now I'm a goal setting expert, and I have clients in the membership. Okay. So that's my walk down, how I kind of got where I am, and all of the things that I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've been busy.
Yeah.
Dang. But I like how each thing catapulted you to something else. And you didn't allow that vision to stifle you. Because sometimes people are like, well, this was a vision I saw, and they're too afraid to divert to anything else because they want to stay comfortable in where they're at. Which is probably kind of me, because I'm comfortable like where I'm at. And when people come at me like, oh, you should like our conversation that we had when we first met, and I'm like, no, I'm really comfortable with what I got going on. Like I don't foresee it, and I don't visualize it, and that's why I don't have that vision. Look at you! You're not gonna talk me into it.
I'm being quiet. I'm being I got something to say.
Hey, Sherry, welcome. Sherry is tuning in. Yeah, hey, I know you got something to say. But I love that each step you found out something else that you enjoyed doing. And so you took that other joy that you found and made it in another business. Yeah. Do you know how many people wish that they could do those things? But really, the only thing that stops them is themselves.
Yeah, their fear.
And their fear. So y'all need to go and check out the Cameo Bobo Experience and go through her goal setting courses. Because a lot of people, me myself, like I said, this show is all about true self-reflection. So I have to be honest. I am not a goal setter. I am not that type. What happens to me when I set a goal is that now I'm so focused on it, it stresses me out. And I don't know how to set that goal and not stress myself out about it, about making sure that I reach it. Because then if I don't reach it at the time that I said I was going to reach it or set it, then it frustrates me.
I understand that.
And so therefore, not setting a goal.
You feel the structure sometimes is intimidating. The structure of setting a goal sometimes is intimidating to you and stops you from moving forward. So you just say, I'm going to do something, and you do it. And it's kind of.
Yes, it happens. And I'm saying I'm going to do it. Then there's no stress on me on having it completed by a certain time. I didn't say I was going to have it done by this day. I just said I was going to get it done. And so now I've gotten it done.
And that's okay.
Yeah, but I cannot set stuff. Woo, girl, I can't do it. It's just not how my personality is set up.
I understand that. And I think maybe it's a perspective shift with that. Because
I agree.
You're going to do it.
Yes. Yes.
You just don't like the feeling of not getting it done on the day or the time.
It's something about if I set a time limit or now I'm in a panic about making sure I hit that deadline, as opposed to me just saying I'm going to accomplish it, but not setting a deadline for it, just saying I'm going to get it done.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, I can't do deadlines. Yeah. They make me, I'll be like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
You can do it. You just don't like doing it.
I do not like doing it. I do not like doing it. Literally, it is just something. It's a mindset thing. And I have yet to figure out, and I realize it's just really my own perspective. And I have not figured out yet how to change that perspective when it comes to setting goals.
What goal, if you don't mind me asking, because I know you're hosting, I'm the guest.
No, go ahead. No.
Was there a goal that you set after that you didn't achieve at the time you desired, and you felt disappointment or overwhelmed because of that?
No, I can't really say that.
Okay.
I think for me, it's just a mindset thing.
Okay.
I don't like limits. I don't like, I like to feel free. And I think it's something about having a limitation.
That control. You feel like it's controlling. And
yes. And I like to be in control. I don't like anything else controlling me. I guess that could be it. I am definitely a control freak. And so setting a goal, if something happens that that's out of my control, then now I'm trying to, so.
Even when you set the goal in a day yourself?
Yes.
You still feel that?
Yes, I still feel that.
Okay.
I still feel that. I still feel that. Because I feel like I have to meet that goal. And if I don't meet that goal at the time.
What does it mean?
I don't know.
When you don't meet it, what does that mean to you?
I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't meet the goal. And so I don't want to deal with that disappointment. So therefore I don't set the goal. I don't set a time frame for it.
Is it wrong to move the date?
No, it's not wrong. It's definitely my perspective of it. Okay. Because I agree. No, it's not wrong. Because I've moved dates before and be like, oh no, okay, well now I'm gonna push this back. It's just a mindset thing for me. I just, it's something about it that I don't like. But like you said, until you said it to me, I never really realized. Like, I look at it as I have a vision, but I don't set a goal for it. Like I have a vision and I'm going to bring that vision to fruition. But I can't do goals. It's something about it.
I think you do goals. You just don't use that word.
I don't use that word. I don't like that word. Yeah, goals. I mean, maybe that's what it is.
We're here today.
And my goal was to have you on.
And I'm here.
And we set a date. Yeah. I had a vision to have you on when I met you. And we set a date and we made it happen. And I brought my vision to fruition.
Yeah. So you're a goal setter. You're a goal setter.
I don't like that word.
You're living your best life, girl.
I am living my best life. I am enjoying my time. I am enjoying doing the show. I am enjoying having you on.
Thank you.
I want to go back to something else you said. You mentioned about the song that you have out.
Yes.
So tell everybody, how can they find, if they wanted to download or listen to the song, how could they find the song?
It is available on all music streaming platforms. So if you listen to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, however you listen, Google, however you listen to your music, just you can say, hey Google, play Cameo Bobo 2022 is my year. And it'll pop up. And so it's available on all streaming platforms, and type in my full name, Cameo Bobo, and you'll see my other music. I write music that motivates and inspires people to go after their goals and feel good about themselves. I don't call it inspiration music because I got other, I got all kind of music, but I just really feel that there's power in our words and there's power in messages.
Absolutely.
And so when I'm writing my music, I'm really mindful of what the person is going to walk away after they listen. The walk away with the feeling that they have after they listen to my music, because music is a big. You're probably a music lover too.
I do.
I love music, and there are songs that I can listen to and I remember exactly what I was going on in my life. Music that, there could be a lyric, there could be a word that just helped my mind get out of depression or get out of sorrow or gave me hope.
Absolutely.
And I just think that it's two things I feel like God told me that are irreplaceable on this earth are books and music. and you can read a book from a long time ago. You
once
can
that knowledge is gone,
it's there. And so the music that I put out, no matter whoever listens to it while I'm here on this earth, it's there to be listened to later
for a lifetime.
And so I'm very honored that I'm able to put out stuff like that. And so I really take a lot of thought into what I put out.
Okay. Now, are your songs gospel?
No, they're not.
Okay.
No, I don't consider myself a gospel artist. I just am a Christian that writes music and does stuff like that. But I'm probably not the average person, what somebody would consider. I don't write Christian rap, so I'll say it that way. I don't consider it Christian rap.
Okay.
But that's what I think. But you might listen to it and say different.
No, you know what? I feel like nowadays it's difficult to put everything in a box.
Yeah.
And music is changing. Like artists out now, I don't even have a clue. But like, who is this? Like I have no. But the different songs, the type of music, dance, everything is evolving and changing. So you can't put everything in a box. And so these different labels that we had way back in the day don't really apply now.
Yeah.
And so now we have to different categories to be more broad and more open to, because people are diverse and doing different things.
They're doing different things. I just call it hip hop, R&B when I have to make selections of genre. But I wouldn't consider myself a Christian rapper because I don't believe that I write. I feel like Christian rappers there's a, how can I say, a message to bring you to Christ through scripture reference, or you know what I'm saying, like that. And I don't do a lot of that in my music, but it's not that I don't desire for people to possibly explore that.
But that's not your goal.
Yeah, my goal is to just let them, empower them, and to let them know, there, and He is for you, and you have more control over your life than you give yourself permission to have.
I can agree with that. I can most definitely agree with that.
And a lot of it starts in your thoughts.
Absolutely.
And I believe that through my music, I can affect you to have a good thought. And if I can do that, hey, we winning.
And that's kind of, I feel you on that, because that's kind of how I feel about the show, because the show is about being able to be open and see yourself from a different perspective and open your eyes. And once your eyes are open to that other perspective, now you have a choice. You can either continue down the path that you're on, or you can make a decision, an informed decision, to take a different route. And so it empowers people, I feel like, to say, okay, I see it now. I see what they meant when they told me that. Okay, now I can either change their perception of me, or I can feel content with allowing them to see me that way. But if that's the road I choose, now I can't complain about it. And that's what I tell people all the time. Once you see it, you no longer have the right to complain, because now you're aware.
Right.
You're completely and totally aware. Your eyes are open, and you understand why people perceive you. They perceive you. Now it's your choice whether you want to do something about it. And so I was that type that I used to complain all the time. Because why do people think I'm mean? Like, why do you see me as mean? Like, I'm not mean. And so I had a mentor one time tell me, she said, Karen, you have multiple people telling you the same thing about yourself. Only common denominator is you. And so I had to take a step back and think about that. Wow. Okay. Is what they're saying really true?
Right.
Can I see myself through their eyes and from their perspective? And when I took a step back and I saw it, and I had to say, you know what? I see it now.
That's good.
I see it now. Like all this time where I used to say, no, I don't get it. I see it now. I understand it now. And so now that I'm conscious of it, I understand what it is about my body language sometimes that makes people think that I'm being defensive. I understand about how sometimes, like, I have a tendency, like if I'm walking, to have my head down and not make eye-to-eye contact. So I give off all of these things that say, don't come into my space. And then I wonder why people don't want to come into my space. because you're giving off all these signals that say don't bother me, don't touch me. And so now I have to be aware of that because I really do want people to come into my space. And so that's what the show is about, being open to that other perspective.
That's awesome.
You may not necessarily totally agree with it, but can you admit to yourself that there's a little bit of truth behind it? And once you can admit that little bit of truth, then that gets you to start thinking, okay, I can see it. I can see it. Because as much as we want to complain and say we don't care what people think, but other people's perception really kind of drives how your world is going to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whether you believe that or not, but it does, because if my perception is bad, then I'm gonna tell somebody else, and then they're gonna tell somebody else, and then you trying to fight and trying to get people to see you differently.
Yeah.
But you had that one person that had that bad perception,
right?
And you refused to see why they had that bad perception of you, and now it's been spread.
That's good.
And so people don't think about that, and now because we're quick to say I don't care. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You really do care. You really do. And you have to care. You really want to, because, and I've talked about how, people have lost jobs and had stunts in growth and opportunities because we refuse to see ourselves on the other person's perspective.
That's good. I love how you are so clear and honest about that topic when you talk about that.
I feel like I can't ask you to self-reflect if I'm not going to be honest with myself and tell you where my flaws are as well. Because I don't want you to be afraid of admitting and seeing that you had a flaw. Because, hey, we're all human and nobody is perfect.
Right.
And we all have flaws. But once you see it, now you have an opportunity to correct it if you choose to.
Right.
And that's the whole point of the show. Like, you have that opportunity. You don't even have to agree with it. But okay, but now I know. So now I have the opportunity. I can choose whether I want to do something about it or not.
Yeah, self-reflection takes a lot of honesty.
Yes.
And it takes a lot of courage.
Yes.
It really does. And I think that, I think we talked a bit about this when we first met, about evolving. And so self-reflection and facing your issues and what's going on with you and why that's going on with you, that's going to make you evolve.
Absolutely.
And you're just going to walk in more of your purpose and more of who you've been called to be. And it's just going to just take it a new level. So I commend you for creating a show around that purpose.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Because a lot of women that want to act like they're perfect, but we're not.
100%.
We're all work in progress. We're all a work in progress.
100%. And one of the things that I love about this show is when I'm talking to somebody and they have that aha moment, and you see it click with them, and how the show got started. It started out of a conversation that I was having with a gentleman. Well, it was a gentleman and a lady, and we were talking about some things that were that was going on in their world, and the guy was having issues with his wife. And so we were talking about the issue that he was having, and all he was giving me was his perspective. And I said, well, okay. I said, let me tell you how she felt. Let me give you a different perspective. Let me help you to understand how she was feeling in that moment. And he was like, oh, so you're trying to tell me I'm wrong? I knew you. I said, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you're wrong. What I'm saying is I'm trying to help you see her side of it and give you a different perspective to look at it. And when I gave him that different perspective, you could see he was like,
that's good.
Wow. He was like, and he literally said, I had never thought about it that way.
Good.
And I said, that's the whole point about self-reflection. See it from the other person's perspective. Can you understand why they said or why they did? It doesn't necessarily excuse them, but can you understand where they were coming from? And it helps with communication. Now you're better able to communicate with them because you understand why they reacted the way they reacted and how they were feeling in the moment. And a lot of times we're all about us. And we don't really care about how the other person is feeling.
Yeah, you better preach, because it's funny today. I was thinking about how, becoming unselfish and not keeping your your concerns at the top of the ladder all the time. It's a process.
Yes.
You know, if we were born selfless and born not thinking about self all the time, how much better this world would be. You know, a lot of times, a lot of miscommunication, a lot of broken relationships are all because you are looking at what you think and how you feel and how you think that person should know how you think and feel and how they should be responding. And not about who they are, where they are in life right now, what's going on in their life. And I'll give this example. I asked my son, I told my son, I said, did you put the trash out on the curb yet? No, put the trash back from the curb yet. And he was like, no. And I was thinking, why didn't he think from me saying that, go out there and do it? Right?
Because he's not you.
Exactly. So I'm walking to the car to come over here, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go get that trash can. I'm gonna put it over here in the corner. And here I'm thinking, yeah, he gonna see that I went and did it, and he should have done it, you know. And I said, Cameo, he is 20 years old. When you were 20 years old, were you thinking about anything that your mama said? Because I'm thinking, if this was me with my mom and dad, I always be trying to. But here I'm a grown woman. Yes, I see how it is now. And so I said, and I came to that realization. I said, man, we are so selfish. I said, it's taking me this long to be able to turn all that whole situation around within 2 or 3 minutes of me walking that trash can over there, so that I left in the right mind and the right spirit when I left the house. I wasn't mad at him. I'll continue to remind him about the trash. That'll continue to be his responsibility.
Yes.
But I'm not going to go home and feel like my son don't care about me, don't love me.
All because he didn't take the trash.
You see what I'm saying? I chose to think about his perspective and not mine. So I appreciate the conversation that we had.
It's not easy sometimes to get out of our own way.
Yeah.
Oftentimes it's about us. I mean, self-preservation is number one.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, until you have kids, self-preservation really is number one. And then once you have kids, then they become your world until they're grown. And then you have them grandbabies and the grandbabies move. You move heaven and earth for the grandbabies. I just went through that today because I had the grandbabies earlier. I love when my grandbabies come and visit. And my kids always laugh at me because I complain about what I don't really complain. They know I fuss about, because I know the baby girl, when she come in, she gonna want pancakes and eggs. She is obsessed with her nana's pancakes.
How old is she?
She's 5.
Okay.
She's about to be 5.
Okay.
And so she just has to have nana's pancakes and eggs.
So sweet.
And so she came this morning, which she thought she was going to her other granny's house. So she ate cereal. And so on the way, my son-in-law was telling me, he was like, yeah, she thought she was going to her other granny's house. And I was like, no, you're going to Nana's house. And she was like, Nana's? Well, why are you driving so slow? Because they ran into traffic. He was like, what's taking you so long?
She ready.
So when she came in and I was like, oh, so you ate breakfast already? And she was like, I said, you had cereal? I said, so you're not hungry, are you? I said, no, you can't possibly want pancakes and eggs.
No, yes, she can.
Yeah, so
that's so sweet.
She got pancakes. She already knew I was gonna fix her pancakes and eggs. That's I love spoiling them. I love when they come, but you know, I also love to see them go. I love to see them go almost as much as I love to see them come. I'd be like, ooh, okay, now that I had her time. But yes, I love my grandbaby. So, but we are definitely all about self until we have those loved ones or other people come into our world that changes that perspective. But and it's funny you talk about the trash can, because I had, even on the birthday show, I talked about the trash can with my brother and about him taking out the trash. And so then the following Thursday after the show, he did not take the trash out to the curb. And then it was funny. So this past Thursday, he took it out. He made sure he told me that. He said, "You saw I took the trash out." You saw I put the trash out. I was like, "Yes, I saw you put the trash out."
I did something right, man. I did something right. I thought about you instead of me.
And I told him I laughed, and I said, "Yes." I said I laughed when I saw you put it out there. But that is inborn in us, self-preservation. But you'd be surprised how much your world opens up when you change that mindset.
Man.
But I have found the struggle is because everybody is really self. That it's hard to find somebody else that's willing to open up and put you, give you that same. And so I think that's what happens a lot in relationships is that one person is willing to open up and see the other perspective, and they end up compromising a whole lot more than the other person because the other person is still something self as opposed to being willing to open up to the other perspective.
People really don't understand what love is.
I can agree with that.
They really don't understand what love is, and I think that it's imperative. I'm learning now that I show my son what love is, so that he can love a woman and understand when she not loving him.
I can agree with you on that.
Because love is not him calling me and him texting me. Love is him liking me and talking nice to me when we're having a heated argument. Love is him not taking advantage of me when I'm in a vulnerable moment. Love is him looking out for me. Love is him not manipulating me. And I think that you just have to teach your children this is what love is.
But see, that's the thing. A lot of times people don't know that what they're shown isn't love.
I know.
Because that's how they grew up.
I know.
And so if you grew up in that dysfunction, then you don't understand that that's not normal until somebody else comes along in your life to say, hey, whoa, that's not how we show love.
Yeah, that's not it.
And so oftentimes people think the arguing, the fighting, and all of that.
Man, did that mean they love you?
Yeah, he loves me. If he didn't love me, he wouldn't hit me. And I'm like, baby, if he loved you, he would not hit you. And I'm like, he would not hit you at all. Like that's the wrong thought process to think that type of behavior is showing love. But if that's what they grew up seeing,
you're right.
Then they don't understand that that's not the norm.
I know. Yeah. Well, that's so true, and I think that's why I do the things that I do, because it gives me a platform to show people love and respect.
Absolutely.
And I really try to give people my all when we have an encounter.
I am the same way. I try when I have an encounter with and I can't even talk, an encounter with someone, I try my best to treat them the way I want them to treat me. And so I know if I'm treating you with respect, then I'm expecting you to treat me with respect. Mm-hmm. And so if that's not what you're giving me, then I know you're not somebody I really want to have a conversation with.
My vibe gonna move on to the other part of the room. Right. Because I can get with you.
Right.
And we're not gonna do that.
And that's one of the things I say all the time, and I tell people, because I am the type, I go 0 to 100. Mm-hmm. There's no in between. I'm a 0 to 100. But I like to stay at 0. I like to stay in my calm. And so I don't allow people. And I tell folks that all the time, baby, I'm not going to allow you to get me out of my character.
Yeah.
You can't pull. If I come out of character, it has to be choice. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to allow you to bring me out.
Yeah, I'm not going to let you push me so far that I choose to be someone that I'm not anymore.
Yes. Because that's when you say and do things you don't mean. Exactly. And then words, you can't take words.
You can't take back. You can't.
Once
and
they come
people
out,
that use their words freely like that, I be like, look, I'm not gonna say it unless I mean it.
And I'm the same way.
I'm not. And if I do say something that I don't mean, you better believe you get an apology from me. You're gonna get one.
And oftentimes I didn't realize it came out the way it came out. And
exactly.
That's why I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it came again, because I'm still learning how people perceive me. Mm-hmm. And there are still some things that are so natural in my personality that I fall back into it because I'm comfortable about that's who I am. Mm-hmm. And so I have to stay mindful of that when I'm talking to people. And it also made me think about professionally those areas I don't need to be in. Mm-hmm. Management is not for me. Mm-hmm. Been there, done that. It doesn't work well for me. I am not that people person. I don't deal with emotions well. And even when I think I'm doing a great job and somebody coming in want to talk to me about they woo that, and I'm like, we grown, I pay you to come in here to do a job, and I expect you to do a job, and I don't want to hear nothing else about all the rest of it. I can't do that. I used to tell my manager that I had a manager when I was working for the little clinic at Kroger. and she could bring you into the office and chew you up one side and down the other, and you come out thinking the sun is shining and the flowers are growing, and just like you just had the best conversation when you really just got in trouble.
Wow.
But her the tone and
the
way she talks, and it just like, and I used to tell her all the time, I wish that I could reprimand people the way you reprimand, because I said I can't do it, and she'd be like, yes you can, and I was like, no, I can't do it. She did. And I would just be like, dang, I just got straight in trouble.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it. Like, I still feel
she edified me.
Right.
She encouraged me.
Right. You still
she supported me.
Right. Like, I still feel great and supported. Like, but you just really just got in my ass, but I don't feel like that's not me. I can't. Ooh, and even when I think I'm doing a good job at it, people come out like, oh my God. So now,
but you have other gifts though.
Yes. Yeah. And so therefore, I like to stay behind the scenes. I'm great at being an analyst, like those, a consultant. You got a problem, bring it to me. I'm gonna tell you how to fix it. But I don't want to. I don't want to manage your team and show. I'll train them, but I don't want to be over them after they train. After the rest of that's on you, because I can't do it. It is not in my personality. I cannot do it. And so I am so content with the job that I have. I'm behind the scenes. I do my job. I mind my business. I don't really I love interacting with people, but I don't have to be responsible for you. And so that I'm content and I'm happy. Woo, I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
All right, I'm gonna pull on a thread.
You go right ahead. Pull on that thread. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why. Go ahead, pull on that thread.
So you have such a gift.
I do.
You have such a gift. And it is I don't know what it is.
My gift is not in managing people, though.
I'm not
okay.
I'm not saying managing people, but I really think because you are so secure in who you are and willing to evolve into whoever you need to become, that is what other people need to be inspired to do. And I understand it might not be management. It might be that you have a class or you have some type of program or you do a workshop, but it's something that is some way I feel like you're gonna serve people on a higher level.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I agree with you to an extent, because in the past, I used to do a lot of education, health education, physician education, and different things. And so I love doing public speaking. I love education. I love getting up and sharing viewpoints and those different things with people. I 100% love. Like, I'm on when I do that.
Yeah.
That is so
it's
me.
Your space.
Yeah, like I'm in my own little world when I'm up doing that. I don't. I won't say I don't. I have not had that vision yet. Well, let me back up because I'm lying. I hadn't had that vision until after I met you.
Really?
I had not had that vision until after I met you. And after you and I had that conversation, I kind of took a step back and I thought about it. That is something eventually I can visualize myself doing. I've definitely loved sharing my story about my journey of self-reflection and opening up and being very honest with people, because you can't, like I said, you can't self-reflect without being honest. And I've had a lot of open and honest conversations on the show about my journey of self-reflection, like with my sister and the issues that we've had and how I finally opened my eyes up to how she saw me, because I didn't see it before, and those different things. And whenever I talk to someone about that, they always are like, wow, you like, I wish so-and-so could hear you, you say that. And so I have not fully visualize that yet.
What it articulated the
but I
vision.
did make a step
Okay.
because I reached out to a friend of mine, uh, Nakia Wright. Her and her husband own Big Love Smokes.
Okay.
You know,
I'm not familiar with them, but
yeah. Oh,
where is
her
it?
name is Lovely too. That's so funny because her
wow.
name is Lovely
Okay.
also.
Here in Nashville.
Okay. It's here in Nashville. It's in North Nashville, over in the Haynes Manor area.
Okay.
And so, because she
is it
listens
a smoke shop too?
It is.
Okay.
And so they have an outdoor area where they do live music and different stuff. They even actually had another great idea. I'm gonna have to tell her. I talked about them on the show, but they have a mobile smoke lounge, and so you can book them. They'll come set up there, and it's got like a little patio area, and you can buy cigars and sit and smoke TVs. It's really nice. But I reached out to her about doing a show from Big Love Smoke.
That'd be cool.
And so she was like, I would absolutely love that. So she and I are working on coming up with a date to come out and we stream the show. And so, and advertise it. And maybe we can draw in an audience. That would kind of give me an idea of
what might come,
of what it could possibly look like. And so I'm testing the waters. I hadn't really had the vision until I met you. But I'm willing to step out there and
well,
test
I'm already
waters.
giving you a round of applause. Good job.
We will
Good
see.
job.
We will see, because I've always said I'm open to whatever this venture takes me. Like, I have no set goals. I have no real set vision for the show. Right now, it's just something I'm passionate about, and I enjoy sharing that different perspective and trying to open people's minds up to seeing things in a different light, especially when it comes to relationships, because oftentimes that one person is compromising more than the other and they don't see it. And let me show you. And one of my biggest things, and I hear women say all the time, I don't know why he keeps cheating on me. But baby, he keeps cheating on you because you allow him to. And no, I don't have any control over what he does. No, you don't have control over him, but you have control over you. You don't have to stay. And he keeps cheating because he knows you're going to stay. You're not going to go anywhere. So he can cheat without consequence. And all he got to do is say, I'm sorry and I love you.
Or go through the hard time. And he willing to do that.
Right. Because he know in the end.
Yeah, he knows it's going to end.
And then they say, well then, but I put him out. All he does is come back. He come back because he know you're going to let him. So I want you to be open to the perspective of you're making that choice. I want you to see yourself. You're continuing to make that choice of allowing him to do those things to you.
You already got it. It's already there. It's already there. It's kind of like, you can meet, just say you have a meeting of 15 women, right? And you go through your talk and you tell them your intro and everything, and you ask them, this is me just talking, write down 3 people that you wish you had better relationships with, right? And we write down our 3 people. And then you begin to ask additional questions that help us think through this relationship. What's the last way they hurt you? How did you respond? How did they respond? And you some type of way incorporate your life stories with as we go through this process. And then at the end, you have a self-reflection time. Okay, let's look at their perspective in that situation. This happened. And you give each woman time. This would be more of a small group time where you can do breakout sessions and they have the conversation for you and come back. But I can just see so much deliverance coming from something like that for women, because I really believe that we are put here as vessels for God to use so he can show each person in the world who he is. And you got a piece of God that I don't have. You got a personality of God that I don't have. And you I won't say naturally because you grew into it, but right now you are naturally aware of other people's perspectives of you. You're concerned and want to make sure that they have a perspective that you're okay with, and you're willing to do something about it if they don't.
Yes.
You think that ain't what God feels? He want people to see him for a sweet, loving God, not the God that looks down and shoot down fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
I
you
agree
know,
with you. I agree with you.
and I think that it's our jobs to expose people on whatever levels to that. So I could just see people giving a lot of deliverance from that, because in my own personal life recently, I've been trying to one of my brothers, I've been trying to rebuild our relationship. And the end of last year, God told me how he sees me, and it almost floored me. I couldn't believe it. I love him. I do anything for him. But what he told me about how he sees me, I thought, oh my God,
You'd be
that is
surprised.
it, you know. And then I started thinking about why.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, oh,
I see it now.
and I'm big sister, so I don't have anybody big to look up to. Mm-hmm. I'm big sister, so I don't know what it feels like to have someone kind of over you. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. I don't know that feeling, and I don't know that feeling as a man with a woman.
Trying to be, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because I'm 7 years older than him.
Oh, okay.
You know, but we're all close. You know, but it just really hit me, and I had to do what you're encouraging others to do, and it's been getting better and better and better and better because I see it now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
To do that with my sister. The same thing. I used to say all the time. I always felt like growing up, me and my sister were in a competition, and I never knew what we were competing for. Like I never had a clue what we were competing for.
Is she older or younger?
She's older. I'm her baby.
Okay.
And so it was when I started the show, and it was something on the show. I can't even remember what was said, but it made me really take a step back and self-reflect and think about what people used to say to me, especially like my family and different things, my brother and sisters. And one of the things that my sister used to say to me all the time was that I thought I was better than her. And I would always be like, no, I didn't think that. You know, I didn't feel that I was better. Matter of fact, from my perspective, I felt like my brother and sister got everything. Like we were spoiled, right? But they had more liberties than I had, and like they could fail and it would be okay. But if I did,
the expectation was different for you.
Completely and totally different expectation. And so I'm viewing it differently. Like I felt like I was the one that always got in trouble, and they were harder on me than they were on her. But in her mind, okay, y'all, we're back. I think we lost the internet went down, and then we've got these spam people on here. Okay, y'all, we're back. I think we lost the internet went down. Yeah. But yeah, so what I had to do was take a step back and see it from her perspective. And what I learned about myself was that growing up, I was an intelligent child. Okay. And so my mother, and my grandmother, and my teachers, and everybody, and you have to think about it. Back then, even though we were together, we were still kind of segregated. They still made a difference between the black kids and the white kids. And so I was always told, because I was smart, that I was better. You're better than the rest of these kids because you're smart. You're better than your other fellow black classmates because you're smarter. And like we go to class and it would be me, my best friend, and a guy. We would be the only 3 little black kids in a room full of white kids. Wow. It was always, it's better. And so subconsciously, in my mind, I grew up thinking
you were better than your peers.
I'm better than you because I'm smarter than you. I'm more intelligent. I do things better than you. Like, people have always told me that. And then as I got older, it started to really resonate. And people would say, well, you always talk down to us. And I never even realized it. Because in my mind, I was just me. And then that journey of self-reflection and that light bulb switched on, and I said, I get it now. Now, does it excuse some of the things that she did and that we went through and we said? No, it doesn't excuse the things that she did and said, but it did help me to understand.
That's good.
And so I said to her, I told her about the show, told her to go and listen to it, and I told her, I said, I apologize to you if you ever felt like I made you, or you thought that I felt like I was better than you. Because I really and truly didn't. That was not my intent. And I never understood it.
It was a subconscious thing.
Yes, it was subconscious. It wasn't a verbal of me saying, I'm better than you. I know I'm better than you. It wasn't a thought
going through your head, I'm better than my sister. My sister ain't good.
It was something that subconsciously in my actions, my actions were saying
and how people
her. And now I'm aware of it. And so now it changed how I interact with her, because now I'm aware of how she perceives me. And so that's what I feel like. That's what I want. People to gain from the show. Like, I had personal growth from that. It helped me to be able to relate to someone that in the past we never communicated on the same level. And that's something I talk about all the time. Communication. You can talk to you blue in the face, but if you're not communicating to that person on their level, they heard nothing you said.
That's good.
They heard a word you said because you're not communicating it on their level. And if you don't understand their perspective, you can't communicate to them on their level. You can't share or explain how you felt because they don't understand. You're talking on different levels. And especially when it comes to men and women, that is one of the biggest issues, because men and women communicate differently. And women, we get frustrated because we want them to communicate to us the same way that we communicate them.
And we just don't.
But that's not who they are. And we have to stop expecting ourselves out of them. And then men have got to learn how to communicate, period. Because oftentimes they just want to shut down and walk off because they don't want to deal with it. And so it's all
they feel like it's too emotional.
Right. And it's all about learning how to communicate on each other's level.
That's good.
And one of the things I have to say I love the most about doing the show is that men love coming on the show.
That's good.
They love to come and share their perspective because they feel like, I always get, well, we know we can come on your show and it's not going to be argumentative. Like, I can speak and be honest about how I feel without feeling attacked. That's or, awesome. And I said, well, because the show is about being open to everybody's perspective. So I'm not going to shut your perspective down. I really want you to share and be honest, because oftentimes, and I say this a lot to women, is that how men really think? Or is that what we've been telling ourselves for years to make us feel better about ourselves?
Yeah, men have hearts.
Absolutely.
Men have hearts. We think because we run into the ones that, cheat and don't care and all that they don't have a heart. He had a heart too.
He did.
He had a heart too. He just had something was going on.
They are all,
you know what I mean?
They're all going on in different places. And it's all about understanding that man. That's something we talked about on the birthday show. because we were talking about understanding what the other person values. Oftentimes we want them to value what we value. One of the things my girlfriend was, she was like, well, I cooked him a meal and I did this and he acted like he didn't appreciate it. I said, well, cooking may not have been something that he valued. And she was like, well, what does he value then? But that should have been, that's what I said. That should have been a conversation you should have had with him to figure out what it was that he valued. Because if you in here thinking, because that's what people tell us, wait till a man's heart is in the kitchen and cook the meal, and you in here thinking, oh, I'm gonna get him by cooking him a decent meal, and if that ain't what he values, you're wasting your time.
Another thing that women don't consider, and I had to confront this in my own personal life, a man tells you his intentions when you meet him.
Absolutely.
And if a man tells you right now he just wants something casual, be mindful that cooking for him, sleeping with him, giving him your all, listening to him, whatever you're gonna be doing will not change that decision.
Absolutely.
That has to be him that decides to make a change of that decision. And so when I meet people and they tell me something of that sort, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I'm not gonna go any further with you because I'm looking for a committed relationship. And if you're already not looking for that, we're not gonna go anywhere.
Absolutely.
I care more about what I want than trying to talk you into what I want.
Absolutely.
I'm clear about
I tell
it.
people that all the time. Stop going into relationships or going into situationships or whatever you want to call it, thinking you're going to change the other person's mind. And then the only thing that happens is you end up upset because you done got your feelings hurt because now you done gave your all and put into it, and then you didn't get out of it what you were expected to get. But he told you from the jump that's not what he was looking for.
Right.
And so you can't be mad at nobody but yourself.
Exactly.
Because you did it to yourself. But now you want to be mad. And I hear this all the time. Well, he allowed me to do, and I did. And I cooked for him, and I did these things, and I did that. But no, baby, you did it on your own. Did he ask you to do it, or did you choose to do it?
Exactly.
That's the difference. Did he ask you, or did you choose? And if you chose to do it, you can't be mad at nobody but you. Because that man didn't ask you to do none of that. He didn't ask you to do any of that.
It was being a girlfriend to a non-committed person. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? And if you want to do that, then the results, you can't say nothing about the result that you get.
It's on you.
Yeah, it's on you.
It's on you. It's 100% on you because you made that decision.
Yeah.
But that's oftentimes what people don't want to hear. That's why they don't want to self-reflect. It's easy to blame somebody else.
Yeah, we all would love to play the victim.
It's so hey Ramona, welcome. Yeah, it's so easy to blame somebody else than to take a step back and realize, okay, I got to take some ownership in this. And because I did another show a few weeks ago where it was supposed to be about helping this guy dating or whatever. And so he had some girlfriends on there, and they were talking about how he was, and they was like, well, yeah, we got to find a woman that, can handle him because he's like that straightforward talking. He's, he's blunt and he's honest. And I said, wait a minute, hold up. I said, I get it because I'm a blunt, straightforward, honest person. But just because that's who you are don't mean that everybody has to accept it that way. A lot of times it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. I said, so let's don't put it all on them that they've got to. So why do you feel like it's their problem that they have to conform to his behavior?
To your hard talking self.
Right. As opposed to you taking a step back. You don't want her
talking to you hard, do you?
Exactly. As opposed to you taking a step back and realizing you ain't got to talk to her that
way.
Just because you feel like, you want to be blunt and straightforward and honest. Okay, well, you can tell me the same thing, but it's all in how you tell it to me.
Right. And there's a timing for it.
Absolutely. And when people come in and he was like, well, I'd be like, I don't mean to offend. I said, well, you already got me set up.
Conversation.
And that's what I said. You already got me set up because now I'm prepared because you about to offend me. You just gave me the disclosure that you about to offend me.
And you don't care.
Exactly.
You don't care.
Anytime when somebody says that, and now I'm not even listening really to understand what you're saying. Now I'm listening to respond to whatever it is you got to say because you got me on defense. And that's what I tell everybody all the time about communication. You got to communicate on that person's level. Yeah. There are key words that you can say to somebody that automatically is going to put them on defense. And they're not listening to a word you say.
Right.
because I don't want to hear it.
Because they feel disrespected already.
Yeah, that, like I said, where I told you all those things, you got me in defense. We about to go back and forth because now I feel like I got to defend me because what you said, you meant to offend me because that's why you said it in the beginning.
Right.
Because if you didn't mean to, you wouldn't have told me, I don't mean to offend you. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That's your whole intent. That's why you told me that, because you knew I was about to be offended by what you said.
Or you want to make me feel small. You want to make yourself feel big.
Absolutely.
Whatever the reason. It wasn't a loving reason.
Exactly. You had a purpose behind it. And so therefore, if you don't want me to feel offended by it, then you're going to come at me in a different way. And you're going to make sure that you're communicating it to me on a different level. And that's something I say to men all the time. You can't come at, men are logical. Women are emotional. You can't come at her with logic and expect her to understand what it is.
Especially when she in her emotions.
Exactly. She all up in her feelings. She ain't hearing none of your logic, none of your data, none of your statistics. She ain't caring about nothing, none of that. The only thing she's worried about is how she is feeling in the moment. And I said, anytime when you got a woman and she's emotional, the first thing you need to say is, baby, I understand how you felt, how my actions made you feel. I didn't intend to make you feel that way. Now she's listening because she knows your concern is her feelings. And you can still say what it is that you need to say.
You got the whole time in the world to come across with your point.
Exactly.
You know, but
you got to
humble
down
yourself
first
and let the person get to where you can even communicate with them.
Absolutely. I said, because all that talking and she upset and she's still up it, she ain't heard nothing you said. She ain't caring about nothing you say. Because she ain't listening to understand. She's listening to respond. Because she's all in her feelings. And she feels like you ain't caring about her feelings because all you talking about is logic and why, and you did this because of this and this. She ain't caring about all of that. So we don't care about all of that. Talk to me about how I'm feeling and explain to me how what you did made me feel. Now we can have a conversation because you have admitted and acknowledged how I'm feeling in this moment. Now let's address why you did it. Once you've acknowledged how I felt. And that's the thing that a lot of times men don't get because they're not emotional. And they be like, I know y'all not emotional and you don't want to deal with the emotions. But in order for you to have a conversation with her, you're going to have to.
Yeah.
You're going to have to. Because you can't expect her to all of a sudden come out of those emotions and think logically with you. It's just not how we're built.
Yeah.
We're not going to do it.
That's true.
And if you really want to get across what you're trying to say, then you're going to have to address how she's feeling in the moment. And once you address, and that's what I tell her, I said, now once you address how she feels, you really cut her argument off from under. Because now her whole point is how she felt. And once you address how she felt, she ain't got nothing else to argue with you about. All she can do now is to listen to what you have to say. Because you've already addressed how she felt. And that you felt sorry for. Like, now don't just be lying to her. Be honest if it's how you felt. But if you really want to have the conversation, you're going to have to address that. So I love giving those little tidbits. I love doing those different things. So I don't know.
You might be a couples counselor at some point.
Oh,
Seriously.
I don't know about that. I know I love when I have people message me. I have a gentleman that's a faithful listener to the show that messages me all the time and says that he learns so much and that he has grown to be a better man from listening to the show. And those type of things humble me. Like I love to hear that and love to hear that people enjoy listening to the show because I want you to feel like I want you to feel like you got something out of your conversation with me. Like that's what we sat down. The show is about having a conversation. We talk about real life. And I feel like when you walk away, I want you to walk away with a different perspective than you had when you came in and you sat down because that's what the show is about. It's about being able to look at things from a different viewpoint.
I love it. I'm here for it.
So I don't know. We'll see. You opened my eyes. You gave me.
You fought me, but
I'm still fighting you. I'm still fighting you. I really and truly am. Because the other thing I think I told you about the engagement I did with some of my club sisters in the game we played.
And they wanted more information.
Yeah, they still wanted to do a follow-up on that, because that is something I think that would be great amongst a group of people who know each other. Like, you really would have to know one another to really do that, because you're giving a positive and a negative about that person. And so the only way you can really give a good positive and negative is it has to be somebody that you know. But it's all about being open to how other people see you, and being honest. Somebody might write something on that paper that you don't want to hear, but can you be honest and take a step back and say, okay, I can see how they saw that. I get why they walked away with that perception. That's not the perception I want to give to them, but I can see why they walked away with that perception of me. And so that's what I kind of want to get out there to everybody.
I believe you'll do it.
Out there. Well, hey, like I said, I'm open. I'm not turning down anything. I am open to all avenues, but I can't say that I'm actively pursuing all avenues. But I'm open. If the avenue opens up and the lane presents itself to me, I would not hesitate to go down.
You have some gifts that would be great at women conferences and gatherings and stuff like that. That's what I think.
Okay. I'll think on that. I'll think on that. I'll have to think on that perspective. I can see that. I can see that, because I am about opening up women's minds and seeing a different viewpoint. And it's a bigger, I have to be honest and say, it's a bigger struggle with women than it is with men, seeing that different viewpoint. And I feel like it's because we grew up being told what we're expected to do, what men should do, and times have changed, and those things don't always still apply. And instead of us focusing on who the person is or who that man is, we're focused on what society tells us that he's supposed to be doing. And even when the new age, with this new modern male, we're focused on what society is telling us that he is supposed to be doing and what he's supposed to look like and all of these different things. And instead of focusing on who he is as a person. And then we get upset when we're not able to manipulate or change him into the person that society tells us he should be.
That's good. That's good.
But we are over an hour already. We just sitting here chit chatting. I told you I like to just go and wherever the conversation leads me, I'm willing to go, and we just sit and chit chat and just have a good time on the show. But thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me. This has been fun. It's like girl talk. It was great. I enjoyed it.
I'm glad you enjoyed. I do another show on Sundays called Cocktails with KO.
Okay.
And I never have a subject for Cocktails with KO. I really just get on there and whatever's on my mind, I talk about. Sometimes I'm by myself. Sometimes I have, I will literally get on here and talk to people for an hour. But I have people who come in and comment and we chit chat and we talk. So I love doing Cocktails with KO. Because it's just whatever's on my mind. Whatever I'm thinking about, I get on here and talk about. I share with people everything that I'm going through. If I'm having an issue, if I'm feeling sad, if I had an argument or a disagreement with somebody, I come on here and I talk about it, because it's about me being open and honest with people and transparent. Because
that's again, a gift.
How can I ask you to be transparent with yourself while I'm pretending to be someone I'm not?
Yeah, that's good. I commend you for that. Yeah. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It's not easy, but I accept me for who I am.
It keeps you at peace.
It does. It does. And then I feel like this. I'm the type, I don't have time to keep up with the lies. It's too much. I can't keep up with the facade, and I can't keep up. I can't remember what lie I told you, and did I say on the show that I was supposed to be? No. So what you get is 100% me.
Right.
People who know me personally be like, yeah, that's KO all day long. What you see, when you first met me, what you see is what you get. No matter what venue, what avenue, what you see is what you get. I am who I am, and that's what I love about the show, because people love me for who I am, and they accept me for my flaws and everything. And I'm the first person to say, "You right? I'm not perfect. You're absolutely right. I'm petty. I sure am. I'm petty Betty. Yes, I am petty as they come. Yes, absolutely. It takes my son-in-law to tell it. He'd be like, "Ooh, y'all just a petty family. Me and my kids, we are petty." I can't even lie and say it's gonna be something I'm gonna work on because it's just who I am. But I love me, and I hope people love me for who I am. So that's why I enjoy doing the show. But thank you for coming on.
No, thank you for
and
having
sharing.
me.
I feel like
totally
we flipped. The
it.
second half was all about me. I feel like.
Oh well, we enjoyed it. I enjoyed it learning about you. It was a great conversation.
Yes, I have to have you back on again, and so you can meet Pretty Ricky. But before you leave, I have to get you. We have to go inside so you can sign the wall.
Waiver. Okay.
Yes, no, not a waiver.
Okay.
I have a signature wall in my studio. I have a studio inside the house as well.
Okay.
So if the weather is bad, like when it gets really cold and different stuff, like I actually just set this patio back up for my birthday show. Okay. But we're gonna get out here before we get into another whole conversation.
May I give an announcement about an event I have coming
up? Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay, guys, check me out. July the 30th here in Nashville, Tennessee. I am bringing you the Bold and Courageous Dinner Party.
Okay.
So this dinner party is for female entrepreneurs, professionals, and creatives. So basically any working woman here in the Nashville, Middle Tennessee area.
Okay.
And my goal is to gather women, inspire them, and motivate them to know that they need to be bold and courageous in life and business. And I want to bring together women that are making 7 figures all the way to $15 and put us all in the room.
Okay.
Because no matter what we're going through or how much money we're making, we all are going through similar issues.
Absolutely.
And we all have to encourage each other to be bold and courageous, that you're going to make it. You can push through and you can just, you can make it. So the event is July the 30th here in Nashville. Tickets are $39.50.
Where is it going to be at?
At the FOP building on Welshwood Drive. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's not far from the zoo.
I know what you're talking about.
But it's a venue. So we're going to use that. I have a speaker coming in named Candace Janae.
Okay.
She's an international speaker, business leader. She's been helping me over the last 2 years with my business and building my business. I've watched her go from being foreclosed on her home to making $200,000 a year within the last 2 years. And I've just seen her show up in life and be bold and courageous no matter what life throws her way.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about her speaking. I'm going to perform. We're going to have dinner by a personal chef, a private chef, and it's just gonna be amazing. I'm inviting, I hope to have at least 80 to 100 women in the room, and I would love for your viewers to come. I would love for you to be there.
Oh, most definitely.
So please, everybody, look it up. Just go to a cameoexperience.com and all the information will come up, or either you can type in bold and do
you have a flyer or anything for it?
I do. I can
send it to me and I'll post it on
perfect.
The page.
Thank you. Or you can go to my website, cameobobo.com, and type in, click on events, and all the information will come up. And anybody that's on social media, you are welcome to follow me at Cameo Bobo on Facebook and on Instagram, Princess_Cameo, and also on YouTube, Cameo Bobo, and all the information is all
okay, yeah, I will most definitely. What's the date again?
July 30th. It's the last Saturday in July. It's from 6 to 8:30.
Okay. That's my oldest daughter's birthday weekend, but I'm pretty sure I'm probably not included in the when they get older. I love that my girls are so close and they do couples things and they travel and they always go to brunches and do different stuff together. But I be getting jealous sometimes. I be like, "Damn, y'all didn't invite me. Like, why y'all didn't ask Mama if she wanted to go?" So I don't know if I'll be included in birthday festivities or not. But I will most definitely, if I ain't thinking about her, I'll be there. It's not a big number for her.
Okay, I'll send you all the information.
Please do. Please do. I would love to attend. Absolutely.
I'm
love
excited
to attend.
about it. Yeah, so I think it's going to be really great. I'm really excited. Everything's coming together and it's working out. So I'm excited.
Okay, perfect. I love that.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to get off of here, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Man, this fire, it did keep us nice and toasted out here. It feels good.
It was great.
Thank y'all for tuning in for Red Wild. I'll see y'all. I don't know if I'm going to come back Sunday or not. I might. Depends on what I got going on, what I run into. Thank y'all for tuning in. Good night.
Bye, guys.